I can promise you've never seen a game like this or a story like this before in a FNAF fan game. The full game of Graveyard Shifts at Freddy's has released and it's truly disturbing, to the point that the animatronics aren't actually animatronics, but demons. In today's video, we'll be uncovering all of that from the beginning to end so we can figure out why Graveyard Shifts at Freddy's is the scariest FNAF fan game ever to be released. Pause! Before we start dissecting the game piece by piece, only 7% of y'all are subscribed. So subscribe now so I can reach 10k before my birthday in December. Thank you. We start off the game with dialogue of the local news. It tells us about a reporter of theirs, Sam Rodriguez, who went missing for a week and has yet to be found by the Denver Police Department. Next statement, it tells us he was working on a story about Colorado's infamous entertainment venue, Freddy Bear's Eatery and Fun. And if you even have the slightest knowledge of context clues, you'll know he of course went missing inside of the establishment. And from there, you begin your shift. Now, usually I would also go over the gameplay in this video, but actually I want to split it into two different videos because the gameplay itself deserves a video. So on Saturday, I'll be uploading that, so another reason why you should subscribe. From the opening alone, we have two things we should note down. First, Sam Rodriguez is our main character and he's been missing for a week at this eatery. And second, that something is going on here that is requiring a whole story to be wrote. For the first night's phone calls, which we'll be using for hints a lot for this story, really just explained the mechanics for the game. But something I caught was he never referred to the animatronics as, well, animatronics, but instead intruders, which I mean makes sense, but why stutter while saying it? A little suspicious. That's all for this night's phone call. Bonnie is the only one active this night, which I promise you this all connects later, just trust. After every night, you get dialogue between some people, which looking at it is an inspector and the owner of the establishment. The inspector finished observing the restaurant and then the owner asks if that's all. He tells him that the animatronics stink, but that's about it. Until he smells something. Smells like an odor. He also hears that the floor below him is hollow. The owner starts to get nervous and says it's just storage. The inspector says that he's going to need to see what's down there and asks to see it. The owner once again gets really nervous but allows him to. He tells the inspector to follow him and it cuts there. Notes to take from here is that the owner shows multiple signs of something is going on here. That inspector probably isn't alive anymore and some contraption is going on under the floors. Now for night 2, and immediately it's suspicious. He starts the call with,
"Still here, huh?"
so people be either quitting or dying in the first night. Ain't no way. For the rest of the call, he just explains the mechanics for Chica and the Cupcake who were active this night, which I just want to take a moment and can we just look at Chica and Cupcake? These literally look like demons. What is coming out of Cupcake's mouth? That's not something you could just make. Continuing on beating the night, we get the owner writing in his journal, as we can see in a screenshot shown later on. He writes that things aren't looking good for his business, then adds on to that saying he's told them countless times. I warned them about what would happen if they left, and yet they didn't listen. Last night after closing, Wolfgang attempted to break out of the restaurant, but he didn't make it as far before collapsing in agony. Before he opened the restaurant, he saw Wolfgang's remains, which were bones and ashes. What are those things, bro? What are inside of them? Not only that's weird, the owner literally picked up the remains and put them into another one. Jesus Christ, bro, let it go. But he writes that they all know their place now and none of them can leave. There's a lot to take from here, but the important ones are the other security guards did not last long, the demon puppets aren't allowed to leave or else they evaporate, and their stuffings are reused. Lord, man. To start night 3, he tells us that literally nobody has made it to night 3, which means we've made it the farthest than anyone has previously. And to be honest, they're probably all dead. Just by the way he says to either move on from now or like did something catch your tongue? Spit it out. They're dead. The new animatronics is Barry the Bat, which was the animatronic that replaced Wolfgang. Now, after this night, it gives us the most disturbing and heart-dropping dialogue ever. We can immediately tell it's not the same people as before with the color changes. Green, I believe, is the owner's lawyer. He assures the other lawyer that they're not the cause for their client's son's disappearance. Then Orange comes as the other lawyer saying that you know it's not true and that you know something is going on in there. Wells, who is the green tech, says that he didn't disappear at Mr. Ranglin's establishment, who, if you use context clues, is the owner of the restaurant. Thank God we figured that out. I was tired of saying the owner. He doubles down though and tells him that he was seen there when he left, which disproves his claim. But that doesn't mean it was Mr. Raglan's fault. He could have disappeared after he left, but someone cuts them off. Someone's saying that they know Mr. Raglan did it. It goes quiet. His lawyer is confused. They say his establishment has a reputation of missing staff. The lawyer can't believe what they said. They double down again, saying that he knows where her boy is. This is Sam's mother talking. Her lawyer tries to calm her down, but she doesn't. She slams the table and starts to yell. She wants to see her boy again. The distorted music stops, and again she says, I just want to see my boy again. Oh my god, what a banger. Best dialogue I've seen in a FNAF fan game yet. Oh my god. But the notes to take away from here are the government are now involved. We know the owner's name, and we confirmed that there already been multiple missing cases. We start tonight, and Mr. Raglan is shocked that we're still alive. We should have died 2 nights ago, but somehow we're pushing through. The new animatronic is a snake, which I mean, we all know what that represents, right? The devil. I'm cooking, bro, I'm telling you. Towards the end of the phone call, Mr. Raglan sounds nervous. He lets out a joke, but it didn't seem like natural like his other ones. It's like he's losing his confidence, that he knows something could go wrong if we don't die, which after the night, we find out that exact reason. He writes in his journal that Sam's making it too far. He should have died by now. The strategy they use all this time worked so well. He doesn't know what's going on. He thinks it's a sign to stop. He's beginning to get nightmares again, as if he was in Sam's position. His creations aren't the same anymore. They've been outworked, figured out. Well, that's what he thought. He's seen Freddy Bear and he looked a little different. If he was slowly wearing down like Mr. Raglan was, he was more angry, more hungry. It ended the same way for him and all the poor souls before him, being dragged down into the darkness. He realized now that it's all coming to an end. What does he mean by dragged into the darkness? I think he means making a deal with the devil, and he regrets it. He wishes he could take back all the killing he's done by saying the poor souls of the people he's dragged along with him, but now he realized you can't have success forever. Which brings us to our final night. Night 5. The phone call starts and Mr. Raglan is stressed. He realizes that it's over. There's nothing he can do to stop it. He tells Sam that he's going to die and there's no way out of it. He should have just quit when he had the chance. He asks God to have mercy on both of them and then ends the phone call. But Sam tries his best to survive. But that didn't stop the soul-hungry demon. He slowly approaches your office, shaking, twitching, until it reaches 6 a.m. when he runs to your office. The game automatically closes the door. He laughs and bangs, then picks up the metal door and eats Sam whole. Mr. Raglan was right. Sam was going to die no matter what. We see a newspaper slowly pan out. Takes a while to become visible, like just show that damn thing. The important parts we need to take from this is that they only found Sam because they heard a loud scream come from the building. Officers arrived in the scene and saw a window shattered and a messy office. Police found the ID card of Sam Rodriguez, who was working on an undercover story about the location. They also found out that this ties into the disappearance of the health inspector that was in early March of that year. They connected the two cases and suspect foul play. They don't think Sam's disappearance was a random crime. They're going to question the owner, Steve Raglan, for more information. As this is the ending of the game, it isn't the only ending you can get though, because there's a max mode you can do and get another ending for. The headline of the newspaper shows that hundreds were found underneath the restaurant. The detectives found a hatch of the floorboards of the playroom where the kids would play and found corpse and bones there. And they would also find a fresh one who was identified as Sam Rodriguez. The police later raided Mr. Raglan's house, but found the same thing they found at the restaurant, just a mess everywhere and broken glass. The police just believe he had a mental breakdown and ran away. They will continue the search, but I can guarantee you now, he will not be found because Dreddy Bear killed him too. And you may be wondering, how if they weren't able to leave the restaurant? Well, that's because Mr. Raglan broke his deal with the devil. Yes, you heard that right. Freddy or Dreddy is the devil. Now, is the title, intro, and thumbnail making sense to y'all now? No? Well, let me explain further. Raglan made a deal with the Baphomet, the devil, which would give him all the success and the riches he wanted in exchange for sacrifices. And in this case, it was his staff. He would use his staff to feed the demon puppets. And now that we know there were hundreds of corpses down there, they were eating good until they started running out of food. Usually the security guard there would last at most 2 days and they'll be able to eat. But then Sam got the job and he didn't die in 2 days and actually lasted till the end. This meant Mr. Raglan broke his deal and now the devil had to step in, taking form of Freddy, turning him into Dreddy Bear. He went for Sam first and ate him, then escaped the restaurant and went after Mr. Raglan for breaking the deal. Mr. Raglan tried fighting back, but it didn't help and he also died. Dreddy Bear was fed, and now the demons are free, roaming around, probably killing more innocent lives because one selfish owner wanted the root of all evil: money. Again, it's a theory. I could be wrong, but yeah, you know. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to VV7645 that actually inspired me to do this video. I've seen their comment on their graveshift video and decided to make a full-blown video about it and try to make it make more sense. You know what I mean? Like and subscribe. Saturday, I will be breaking down the gameplay aspect of Graveyard, so stick around for that. I'll see y'all Saturday.